Hi guys, my name is Alice Miela and welcome to my new YouTube channel. I hope you enjoy this video. Please subscribe to my channel and like this video. I'm not a native English speaker guys, so sorry about my accent and maybe some mistakes. So let me introduce myself a bit. As you can see, this video called my male-to-female transitions. So yeah, I'm a transgender woman. I was born in a small town in south of Russia called Taganrog. I don't think you know about it, but my hometown is located near the border of Ukraine and about 100 kilometers from the city of Mariupol. Mariupol was almost completely destroyed by the Russian army. It's very sad to talk about it because many of my friends and relatives lives in Ukraine. Yeah, it's not a simple situation, and I have a blog in Russian, but I can't even tell that war is war. But let's back to my life. I was born in Taganrog and lived there until the age of 21. When I graduated from the university and then I moved to the capital of Russia in Moscow, where I started my male-to-female transitioning. Yeah, someone says that, 21 age is too late for transitioning, but I don't think any age is too late, because if you want to live happier, you should do it. I must say that Russia is very transphobic and homophobic country, especially in small towns. But in big cities like Moscow or St. Petersburg, people are much more tolerant to LGBT people. How I became aware that I'm a trans girl. I have been observing myself and my identity for a really long time, and I didn't have any information about trans person or even LGBT people. But everyone told me that being gay is something bad, but I didn't understand why. But for many people in Russia, it's normal to use homophobic statements, judge, or even insult the gay community. And I should say that Russian government are support homophobic sentiments. Let's talk about my childhood. In my childhood, before I went to school, nothing special happened. I'm just a usual kid. I play different kind of toys. I have Lego, board games, cars, plush animals, toys. However, I think it's not very good to frame all trans person that way. I mean, if you play with toys, not your biological gender, cars for boys and dolls for girls. If you were born a boy and then play dolls, it's not 100% sure that you're a trans person, yeah. I'm against this kind of thing. I think you can understand your trans identity in any age, and it's normal if you're aware of trans identity much later, in 30 or 40. Work started in the elementary school and continued until high school. It was a very hard time for me. I didn't want to go to school. I wanted to kill everyone in this fucking school. I had teachers, I had classmates, yeah, classic outcast story. But I didn't do anything wrong. I think I'm just was too weak and couldn't stand up for myself. People in school are really cruel towards the weak. I was often beaten and humiliated. Sometimes I was locked up in the girls' toilets, and my possessions were messed up or covered with nasty things. Even in the classroom, my buddies threw paper or chewing gum to my head, and it sticks my hair. Yeah, just usual thing in school. Sometimes they followed me almost to the home and shouting all sorts of insults. I was desperate, simply don't know what to do. There wasn't only one person who bullied me. There were many of them, even girls humiliating me. Yeah, I was such a loser in my school. But I don't think my classmates are more successful than me now. Nonetheless, there were a few people at school I could have normal communication with. So with one of them, we became my best friends. We were together all the time. And the problem with that was our classmates called us gays. In that moment, I think if we are gays, why people should hate us and why it's like something blaming and bad. I didn't really understand this. I did not have any romantic feelings towards this particular friend. We were just platonic friends, yeah. So yeah, faggot became my nickname, which counted for me a very long time in school, and now too. But I just laugh from these comments that I get from all my social media. But back in my childhood, I really started to think about who is gays in general and why I was considered gay. I just look like a normal boy, so I didn't understand why. Even though I didn't consider myself as being a gay person. Thankfully, when I finished school and went to the university, life got a lot better and easier. People there tend to be more cultured and tolerant. I remember the first time I dyed my hair and everybody in university asked me why I do this. I say I'm just like it and everybody's, oh okay, it's your choice. Not our deal, People there are much better than in school because when people grow up, they get more wiser, and less aggressively. I didn't have access to the internet until the age of 13, 14. Before that, I couldn't find any true information about LGBT people. But when I started to educate myself about this topic, I realized that being gay is absolutely normal. After all, even famous people like Freddie Mercury were gay, as I thought. Unfortunately, people who I hung out with at that time were not very tolerant towards LGBT people. I remember also when I dyed my hair in red, some of my friends simply rejected me because it didn't fit into their idea of masculinity, I think. According to them, a man should not take care of himself to this degree. They said things like, why you need dyed hair? You are fired or what? I decided to change my environment and continue to explore myself. I was around 16, 17 years old. At some point, I started to dress women clothes, and I really like it. I bought them from the internet and sometimes got some from my mother. I try to have relationships and sex experience with boys, girls, and even with trans girls. It's always something that I don't fit in. And back then, I came to conclusion that problem is not my sexual orientation, problem is my gender. Like, it felt like I'm trying to fit a square plug into a round connector, which obviously didn't work. Problem was my gender identity, and I just didn't want to be a man in any relationship with any other. I have denied my true self for a really long time. I'm just saying that it is wrong, you're gonna die from hormones, and society didn't accept you, it will be harder, it will be very hard, and you don't need it. Maybe it will go away if I didn't look. You know that meme. I didn't look, and my gender dysphoria didn't go away. But it wasn't a sexual fetish. I really think about it a lot. When I looked in the mirror, I just see a beautiful girl and wanna look more feminine. And then I realized that I have gender dysphoria. Why I should deny myself? I really just can't accept myself and live like a boy. That gender does not suit me at all. And when I try to dress like girl and do makeup and other things that I always wanted to, but homophobic society didn't allow it. feel harmony and happiness. And when I started new relationships, I truly understand that I need transition. I really understood my gender identity, but it's really hard being accepted in society. I understand that I don't want to be a man for sure, and I wanted to be accepted and treated like a girl. At this moment, I also had a big sense of understanding my gender dysphoria and problems in the past relationships. When I tried to take on the role of a woman, I was simply saying, oh, I think it's really me. I feel very comfortable in this gender. Alright, I understand that I want to live like a woman, so what I should do next? I live in a small town in Russia, in very homophobic society, so I decided to wait until I graduated university. Most likely I will just stay at home, completely stop any communication with all my friends from the past and completely change my life. Understanding this complexity made me really sad and depressed. And at this moment, at the age of 18, I started to doing drugs because I saw no way out and no future for myself. I couldn't leave my parents. I don't have money for hormones or operations. It's really hard to be a trans person in Russia now. Of course, we have some worse countries like I don't know, Afghanistan or North Korea. So I told my mother and father that I'm a trans person and I wanna change my gender. Action was pretty bad. They were really upset about it, and my mother and grandmother cried a lot. Then my parents decided that I need psychological treatment or something like this. Oh, we treat you from your trans things. We don't need it. I went to various psychologists and psychotherapists who tried to convince me that being transgender is not normal. I didn't need it because I'm not a real trans person. Some of them said really offensive words, especially when I started to say that I'm pansexual. One doctor told me, oh, the gender of your partner is not important to you, so maybe you can do it with your dog or cat. Yeah, she said that stupid thing. My mother really wanted to give a lot of money to one clinic that promised to heal me from that kind of sickness for a really high price. I really didn't understand what for we should pay. Even if they examined my brain, they couldn't tell whether I'm trans or not. I don't understand it. I just don't understand how. What they want to do to me. Maybe lobotomia. If they would conclude that I'm not transgender, according to their opinion, what next? I would have to take some medicine which would suppress my consciousness. Of course I didn't want it, and I said to my mother, just leave me alone. I will never go to the doctor with her again. Finally, when I moved from my hometown to Moscow, I started my transition. I read about hormone therapy and just buy it in drugstore because in Russia it's really hard to find some doctor who will help you with this. I should say that in Russia almost every trans person started hormone replacement therapy by themselves and just buy hormones in drugstore. Because we have really transphobic doctors who can diagnose you schizophrenia and potentially locked up in psychiatric asylum. Therefore, trans people are really scared to go to the doctors here. So this is how I look when I just started HRT. Yes, look like a different person, you know. I have really a lot of changes in the past 5 years of therapy. Back then, I weighed about 46 kilograms. It's surely very low for my height. I had only skin and bones. The first noticeable changes in the way I looked began to occur about 3 or 4 months into the HRT. I will show you some pictures of the process, 4 months, 6 months, 8 months. But I have a bit of denial for a couple months just because I went to my hometown and my parents really pressure on me. I don't use hormones and being really sad and depressed. It was a really terrible period in my life. I've abused alcohol and drugs almost every day. Eventually, I escaped from it somehow and go back to the Moscow and continued my transitioning. So after 3 months of that transitioning, in 2019, I looked much better. I showed some photos here. At this point, I moved to St. Petersburg. It's the second biggest city in Russia. I just lived for a year in Moscow and understand that I don't really like the city. I go to St. Petersburg and lived a couple of weeks and I really like the architecture and the soul of city and I decided to stay there. But there are downsides, such bad weather. It's very cold city now. It's located near Finland. Also, in St. Petersburg have much more LGBT people, underground culture people, so I fit in it very good. However, it's also the drug and cam modeling capital of Russia. Yeah, here in Russia my job is cam modeling because I don't see any other opportunities. So in 2019, I was able to live like a woman in society. People on the street always recognize me as a woman, and I'm really happy about it because I could put makeup, dresses, and everyone perceived me as a girl. But I have a problem with my voice back, and I didn't change my gender mark in passport. Yeah, we can do this in Russia, and I will tell you about it in some other videos. It's a really long story, but now I changed my gender marker. Has anything changed on a psychoemotional level? I became more sensitive and emotional. Unfortunately, this works in both ways. I mean, you can feel most good and most bad emotions very well. Also, mood swings have intensified. But in general, I cannot say that my personality has changed completely. I've pretty much stayed the same. Yeah, I think I have some psychological changes in my brain. Of course, my behavior changed too. First stages of HRT, it was really difficult. You don't look like the way you want, and people on the street treat you like a stranger. You still can't walk down street full dressed like a girl. So I went out on a full-time girl only after 2 years on hormones. So I passed as a woman in society and then I decided to change my gender mark and the passport. Let's take a look at me at some other age of my transitioning. Yeah, I think I do really good progress. Comment this video please and give some likes if you like to see more videos from me. I can tell you really a lot of. I got anxiety and sort of depression disorders because of the lack of acceptance in society I live in, as well as the drug addiction I went through. I'm not fully accept some kind of not ideals that I want to be, but I understand that I just can't be 100% true woman or something like this, but I'm a trans person and I'm proud of it. I did not undergo any plastic surgery yet, but I'm planning doing face feminization surgery, maybe orchiectomy and breast surgery also. But because I'm happy with who I am now, and happy with what I have. It suits me very well and I'm much happier than before. So, Thank you for watching this video, guys. It was really hard to record it because I didn't do videos on English before. I'm a just Russian blogger who wants to communicate with English speakers too, and tell you some interesting stories. So please support me in my endeavors. And of course, don't forget to subscribe to my channel and like this video. Please post comments below. Also, there will be more content on the topics of LGBT, drug addictions, about living in Russia. People from the West really don't know what's happening in Russia now. But I lived here. Yeah, it's not very easy, but I hope someday I will move out from this hell. Thank you for watching this video. Bye, guys. See you later.
Hello there. Oh, hello, yeah.